Nauru. The German Empire also ruled a tiny island in the Pacific Ocean called Nauru. It was a beautiful tropical paradise island with white sandy beaches and an oceanic breeze. The native peoples were a mix of Melanesians and Polynesians, who were mostly fishermen. The 12 tribes of Nauru were a very hierarchical culture, most likely due to a lack of resources. Shipwrecked Europeans would also live on the island and trade alcohol and guns with the locals. The tribes of Nauru waged wars with one another with their new firearms for 10 years until the German Empire annexed the island. Phosphate was discovered by the Germans, and the island became mostly used as a phosphate mining colony. Marshall Islands. The Marshall Islands were a group of tiny tropical islands in the Micronesian region of the Pacific Ocean. They were home to Polynesian peoples, who also had a hierarchical caste system. They mainly were fishermen in the various lagoons. The Marshallese commonly killed their third-born children as a form of population control due to frequent famines. American missionaries had already spread Christianity throughout the islands. The Marshallese were already fairly westernized prior to annexation. German traders would also begin to set up shop there as well. But with all of this European contact, lethal diseases would spread between populations. The German Empire usually annexed the islands through military intimidation. As the islands were now under German rule, companies would now extract the natural resources from the islands. Northern Mariana Islands. The Northern Mariana Islands were a large archipelago of tropical islands in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. They were originally inhabited by Polynesian peoples called the Comoros. The Comoros were a highly spiritual people who practiced ancestral worship and human sacrifice. The Spanish had technically already claimed the islands as part of the Spanish East Indies, but the Spanish Empire never did much there. Christianity would be the main Western influence in the region. Most of the native population had died from various old world diseases which they had no immunity to. The islands were repopulated by other Pacific Islanders and Filipinos. Eventually, the Spanish Empire and the United States would go to war with each other, which resulted in the US giving the islands to the German Empire. The Germans built modern infrastructure there and exported a lot of copra oil.